Okay, so the an addendum is needed to the previous video that is now currently uploaded. I'm not sure I'm going to even upload this addendum. Maybe I'll keep it with me. It's not of great significance because the Earth is doomed. But just for documentation reason, I need to clarify something. In the previous video, I discussed the amazing cruelties and humiliation that I was aware of such things, but in divine way, like in divinity, which is not placed like it's always in time and place. So it was also sort of conclusion that I couldn't have made, like just by rational analysis. They require rational analysis, but also divinations that I cannot explain. Certainly not right now. I haven't slept like it's the fourth night that I do not sleep. I slept like maybe 30 minutes in each of the days, and I need to sleep just like you. I was afraid that you will take me to you need to several things need to be said. I spoke about that in the past about the issue of eating the clone instead of the original. It was done. It's on average it happens like once in every 20 years in Israel in the last 120 years. But they think that they eat together, but they actually eat like the clone and it's customary to rape the Kerubet. Many, or the Titan male, it's the same from their perspective. Many times, like throughout several days, like most, like I cannot speak about it, but that's what they do. And then like when he dies, he can no longer. They eventually dies after so many people rape him and he's dead, and then they cook him and eat him. Eat it. And his body contains tremendous amount of neurons, so it's like for them it's like like a huge bonus for the teeth. Even if it's distributed like to, among like 5,000 people, which makes sense, even much more than that, even like several orders of magnitude more. But it's still huge amount, something that they cannot get just from pee or something like that. And it was done several times. Cannibalism is done in Israel since 120 years ago, but about once every 20 years they mess up, and they because they're cannibals. They are not known for cannibals are not known to do things like very rigorously. So sometimes they mess up. Generally they do not, but sometimes about one. I heard this divination many times in the past, and I didn't understand. It already happened. Is it going to happen to me in the future? Is it going on right now? Like maybe I need to take action. Maybe how can I save myself from this? I had very very strong emotional inclination of this event, and I speak about it in the various channels. And eventually I understood a couple of months ago. I understood after a long time that I had this divination that it's just a recurring event that happens several times in Israel. It's a real event. It's not a metaphor. It's just it happens several times, and I should know about it. And certainly, certainly most there is like huge probability that it will happen to me, because they will want to eat me, because they understand how much I have the robots in my body, and God, under the Kucha Barichu, God will let me get out of it, and so it will be another kind of thing. Generally, when it happens, so they are fucked up because they ate a clone. They don't have that much robot in their body. So, and it's not just a clone that was cloned, but that was raped by and received like all. Any kind of. They do not safe rape when they rape. So it's also don't forget with that probably every disease in the book, and many diseases that are not in any book. So yeah, it's a fuck up. I mean, it's not nice. When it happens that they eat a clone, and not like because I mean, according to the plan, I mean, the clone should be like replaced inside instead of the original. But I mean, sometimes they switch for some reason. I mean, generally they don't. But I mean, again, once every 2 years approximately, they are switched and like I mean. And then they eat this body that is not that rich in yours and full of sexual diseases, and it's not nice. So it happens. I mean, and as divinated, it happens. So who's the lucky guy that actually served as a clone? So God, I mean, God manipulated the event that it will be a person that is actually, I mean, they all deserve this kind of punishment. I mean, everybody in Israel, but some deserve it more than others. And God kind of, like, I mean, made sure that it would happen. And so she's already dead. They eaten it a couple of days ago. Yes, that's what they did. And what I didn't mention in the previous video, but I mentioned in other videos, and it could be, I mean, observed in the world that it wasn't just these paintings, they were linked together with this train bacteria, metallic train bacteria. Basically, it means that all females and maybe all humans will get this bacteria very quickly. Now, few remarks that are related to culinary, like I mean, issues that might be of interest to some of you. As is that, so the chocolate chahar that I've eaten in the previous video, maybe when I have eaten it, there was also for noises, but maybe it was recorded. It's because it's infected. I mean, they infected it with some kind of bacteria, and I know about it. How do I know? Because God told me. So why did I eat it? Because I wanted to eat chocolate shachar. Well, I mean, I don't have any money at all. I don't have food here. I mean, well, I mean, so I eat whatever I have. I don't have much. I'm incarcerated. I don't have many options. So what will happen now? This does not require painting. It doesn't. It's basic. You hear the pedophile scumbag. He wants to give me a message. No more messages. I'm the one that gives messages, not you. You now listen. The bicycle bacteria is effect of life. I mean, not just the bicycle. The bicycle mechanism is effect of life. It's effect of life. The neos, they share operations. This is always true. It's just that the more starships there are in orbiting of the Earth, the more it's amplified. In general, there is only one, that arrived about 100 years ago. But now there are more and more, and tonight another huge one arrived, which means that it's amplified even more so. So when I eat a food with bacteria, it's always true to some extent that people that have neos that came from my body, directly or indirectly from my body, I mean, it's true even if they take it from a female that took these robots for me. As I said, I mean, my robots, I mean, they start the process, like, I mean, that in female body, that, I mean, not only mine, other males as well. But, I mean, the female depends on, I mean, they do not have to create the robots, I mean, and certainly not to sell it, I mean, they don't require men in order to live, but, I mean, for this mechanism, I mean, it works with men, like, I mean, they have, like, I mean, most of it, it's according to, like, a natural state of affairs, it is, husband and wife, I mean, so, I mean, they are Paleolithics, they don't have this concept, but I mean, they have concept of course, of cohabitating even for hundreds of years. Like, I mean, it's not uncommon in Venus. Like, I mean, to live for a long time, for like, a long-term relationship that sometimes lasts even hundreds of years. And of course, all of this was pervertized in Earth to unbelievable extent. Indirectly or indirectly, so when I eat such a thing, I mean, the robots in the bodies start to create these bacteria. Now, with anything related to life forms, it's not the issue of, like, I mean, whether they exist or not in your body. The issue is how many. because any bacteria, if like it's only one in your body, you will not be affected by it, even if you are, you have AIDS, like you are the most sickly, like sickly Homo sapiens with no immune system, you still will probably survive it. It's always like how many are there, and starting like, and there's always like an approximate number that, in which like they kind of it's called the two, like a sum of sums, like a series of a series of sums will not converge like to zero, but will converge to infinity, like which means that they will just it's mathematics, but it means if it depends on like how big is the initial colony. You will either be clean of it, or you will require medical attention in order to be clean of it, or you will just be dead. And this is true to any bacteria whatsoever. It's mathematically true. Now, with regards to the neurons, it's a little bit more complicated because there is no like a seed colony, because they create the bacteria and then they multiply. So the question is like how effective they are. Why do zombies still speak? Why? Why are they still speaking? Why do the zombies still speak? Earth will soon be hell. Why do you still speak? Why do you think that? Do you think that there is something that you didn't say already? Do you think that there is something new? Do you think that there is something new that you have not uttered yet? This is humanity. This is humanity. So with regards to the neurons, the question is how many neurons exist in the body, and this depends on how much teeth the Homo sapiens ate, and how effective they are. And their effectiveness is determined by the existence of the starships and how many are there. And now there are more than ever, like probably in the history of the Earth, and the big ones are still coming, so it will be amplified. And I can feel it like every minute, because I have so many neurons in my body that naturally so. I don't need to eat anything. It's just there. They're taken for me, of course, but they mines are again. TLDR is that there are at least 3 types of these robots. What I call the yellow ones, the red ones, and the brown ones. They are not the same type. Generally in Venus, there is the red variety. They are not really red. It's just a color code that I invented. They're all like silver and black. But what I call the red ones are those that exist in the body of the female, what you like to eat, the tea, and the brown ones are those that exist in the body of the males. And in the past, there were actually quite a bit of males in the Earth, even though it was always much smaller quantity than that of females. But like in the 50s and the 60s, it was a known delicacy, like to mix the brown and the yellow and the brown and the red to eat it. It was like snowballing, if you know what I mean. Yeah, this is like fun, the fun that they had. איפה היינו ומה עשינו. So that's where they have been, and that's what they've done. Snowballing with these things. Was it dangerous? Extremely so. But I guess it was fun. I'm subject to something I think right now. Anyway, the reds and the brown, they I don't know actually how it works, but they kind of metaphorically they have sex and they have babies. Of course, in a metaphorical way, but in essence, yes. The robot, the male robot exists in the body of the male, and the female. Now it's not entirely equivalent because there is a chicken and an egg because the males usually have it's. And I know very little about males because they were exterminated by the Israelis. I'm not a Titan male, okay? I'm a different species, Kerub, and most of what you see in this channel is almost all of it. Certainly everything that is empirically, that is supported by this empirical investigation is done on the yellows because that's what I have in my body. And the yellows are tremendously more advanced, and the main difference is that the yellow, they multiply. They are, I don't know what's the biological term, they don't require the two kind. I mean, like it's not like a I would say maybe it's called asexual reproductive or something like that. That I mean, they don't have sex. Like I mean, like the notions of males and females. They multiply by themselves. That's why I don't need to eat any of your shit. Like at all to have so many in my body. They just multiply, and they can impersonate the Browns. That's why I mean, like I mean, when like the female titans received it from me, I mean, there are all sorts of ways, but I mean, the simple ways, I mean, using sexual intercourse that, I mean, transfer of fluids. I mean, you know what I mean. You're adult, I mean, or not? I don't know. So it cannot be completely symmetrical because I mean, there will be chicken and an egg. Let's not get into it. Why is my nose stuffed right now? Another thing that happened to me that I didn't mention is that I posted a little bit of clarification of what is actually the thing that Israeli called charging and why it's torture and it's not true that it's charging at all. And I mentioned the company that's related, like WeCharge. I know about something. I'm so tired. Fuck, something's actually with this bed. Just a second. So when they eat the clone, they don't receive much news, and they receive all this kind of like sexual diseases that some were probably already there because they know of the lifestyle of the people that are they become clones, and some were were placed in him in the rape kind of like rape episode. They presumably lasted a couple of days until they died like horrible deaths. So I mean, this is what happened to the creature that you call C, which is dead, but I mean, it's not the last word on the matter. What's going to happen is more complicated than what I've said in the previous video, but I'm dead tired right now. I mean, there is like another trick that's going on. So part of the show will be actually a resurrection of the dead, which is going to be very interesting because most of you have not seen it. And but I mean, we promised you that Jesus will actually come back and resurrect the dead. So I mean, we intend to see the neighbors. Like I mean, they report in the phone that yes, he's outside now. This is the time to do something. Presumably, there's nothing that they can do. They are completely, I mean, they are controlled by the bacteria. The red car is a classical trigger. I mean, that is used for like hundreds of years. Like I mean, hypnotically placed inside the Titan like people. So I mean, they will see a red car. They will be subjected to the will of the Israeli monsters. All the triggers are discussed at length in what I call the Israeliana. There are 3 videos, the Israeliana videos. So I mean, yes, I mean, we promised resurrection, so we're going to keep to our words, and there will be some kind of resurrection. And I mean, I will not be surprised to if we didn't see the last of sea yet. Like, I mean, even though, I mean, it's going to be, it's probably going to be a difficult case of resurrection because, I mean, so it's a classical question, like in theology. I mean, even though some might say not of the best taste, but I mean, like what happens, like, I mean, if a creature, like, I mean, they don't have the body, like in the grave, all sorts of reasons, I mean. Like, does the resurrection, I mean, depends on the body. Because most people throughout the years, I mean, since antiquity, actually thought that yes, it does. Now, these people, like, I mean, for this purpose, for example, I mean, you know, like, I mean, like grave lots, like, you know, in the Mount of Olives were always expensive and become tremendously more expensive as time progressed. Because so many people wanted to be buried there because presumably that's where the resurrection will actually start. Probably not. This is just apocrypha, but it's apocrypha that is common enough so people will all want to be buried there, so it costs a tremendous amount of money. Because, I mean, they want to be the first to be resurrected, so I'm not sure why, but I mean, maybe they think that, I mean, if they will be resurrected before the others, I mean, so they can, I don't know, claim land, or I don't know, like get, like, you know, hold of, like, all sorts of, like, I mean, assets, like, very quickly, so the people that are, you know, they're buried, like, I mean, far from, like, I mean, the action, then they will, like, I mean, resurrected, like, later, and you don't want to be interlinked with me right now, I assure you. So I didn't finish to say that, I mean, not only the chocolate was poisoned, but also the Tabasco and the food that we received from Google yesterday that I've eaten, like, this morning. All of it, I don't know with what, probably with many bacteria. And that's because the Israelis, they feel very bad that, I mean, they've eaten the clone, not me, and of course, I am to blame for it. For some reason, even though I was not aware of it at all. So they infected me, like, with a tremendous amount of, like, new life forms. There is one thing that is so, sorry for switching, there is one thing that is so basic that I mean, so many people around the world just cannot, I mean, understand that. I mean, there's a base, I mean, you hear me speak so much about the bicycle mechanism, and it was known, like, I mean, since, like, more than 100 years ago. I mean, yeah, people don't understand how it works, and they don't understand now because it's completely, I mean, it's predicated on science that is completely outside the reach of humans. But with regards to, I mean, I would say the governing, like, I mean, paradigm, not like, I mean, not how it happens, like, physically, but I mean, what happens is kind of decided. Like, I mean, like, what is the principle here? The principle of, like, what happens. So this is actually very simple, and it will be, you know, summarized very shortly, and I've done it many times. There is, like, one general paradigm that is that everything that relates to the bicycle mechanism is built upon, not physically, but I mean functionally. And this is the following paradigm. Like, I mean, if you discover a well, like in a piece of land that is in your possession, like holding the ground, you can decide one of the two things. Like, you can either drink from it, like drink water from it, or you can pee into it. But you cannot do both. Like, I mean, so you need to decide, like, what is it that you want. Now, so the people in Israel, they ask, I mean, yes, but what happens if they want to do both? Like, I mean, because they are both thirsty, they want to drink, but they have pee, like they need to pee, and they think that it would be a great place to pee. So how is it? So they ask, how can they do both with the same well? So the answer is that it is not possible. It's not possible. You need to choose. Like, do you want to drink from the well, or do you want to pee into the well? And it's okay to do both. I mean, not together. I mean, both options are valid. I mean, presumably it's your well. It was found in your, in your real estate. So you can decide. I mean, if you want to pee in it, fine. If you want to drink, fine. But not both. So these I said that, I mean, that they really want both. So no, it's impossible. So they say, I mean, So they blame me for like, not telling them how can they do both, because they're sure that they're certain that it's possible to do both, and they just need to find a way. And that I'm sure I know how, but I mean I don't give them this information because I'm so evil. I'm so evil. So I mean, the bicycle mechanism should not be used by children, only by adults and under the supervision of adults. Children should not use this mechanism. It's not for children, and adults should, I mean, come to terms with the reality of the need to choose between peeing into the well or drinking from the well, not both. But they drink for me all my life and they pee on me all my life, and they don't understand why I mean all these calamities happen to them. Why do they lose their children? Why do they lose their sexual functions? Why they are all sick? Why is theirs going to die soon? They don't understand. I mean, they just wanted to pee into the well and also to drink from the well. And that's what they are doing for so many years, and they don't understand why they don't get what they really wanted. And for certain it's possible, like to do both. I mean, you just need to find how. And I'm such a I'm such a bad robot, bad little robot that I mean I hide the method of how to do it from them, because certainly I know, because I'm so kind of like versed in the science of the cherubim, so certainly I do know how can you both pee inside of it and drink from it, and I for so many years I don't tell them because I'm such an asshole. So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, really, this was not used to be. It was not intended by the manufacturers to be used by children. No, just adults. And adults should accept it. I mean, you need to decide. Like, do you want to drink from the well or do you want to pee into the well? Decide. Both options are fine, but you need to stick to one, not both. And once you've done, like, I mean, you peed into it, you don't drink. I mean, then now you can still. After that, you can continuously pee into it. Presumably, if you just drank from it, yes, it's not completely symmetrical, because at some point you can decide, okay, well, I want to pee in it, but then it will be only used for pee. Like you after you pee in it, you cannot drink from it. It's not. I assure you, it's not because I'm a bad robot. This is how. This is. There is no way to do it. It's not related to me being bad robot, good robot, me loving you or hating you. It's not about me. It's just that after you peed in the well, it's full of pee, so you cannot drink from it. They don't. No, they don't. I mean, they say that I'm a liar, and surely it's possible that they just need to find how. So whatever you see all around you, and this includes everything that I've spoken about in the last couple of days, up until including this video, all of it could be summarized under the umbrella term of the people of Israel. I mean, yet again try, I mean, to find the way that surely, presumably exists of how can they both pee and drink, like from and to the same well. And so it's all part of it. It's all part of it. And what's happening is that since the entire world drinks from this well, which is not to be blamed for the Israelis, this is the blame of everybody. Not just the Israelis. So all the world drinks pee from a well because you peed into the well that you drink from. So you all drink pee, and this pee is probably now contains tremendous amount of diseases, because I mean everybody peed into the well, including the people with horrible diseases. So everybody drink from there, and from this the pee. And this is not due to me creating any symbolic paintings or me giving any kind of direction to the fleet. It's done, I mean, since I was born. I mean, it's part of life. I mean, I don't need to be aware of it. This is how it works. I mean, these robots, they share consciousness and they share actions, and everybody in Israel knows about it. I mean, for like more than 100 years. It's not a new thing, and much is predicated on that. But you cannot pee in it. I mean, in the well. I mean, you absolutely cannot. I mean, there is no way. It's not related to the symbolic language, to commands, to me being good or bad. It's just, you need to decide. I mean, if you pee, you don't drink. I mean, so you decide you want to drink, and continue drink, sababa. You want to pee, continue peeing, sababa. But I mean, you cannot both pee and drink. I mean, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I repeat it so much. I mean, that you might find it like ridiculous, or like, I mean, even like stupid at time. Why do I repeat the same sentence again and again? But I mean, as stupid as it might sound to you or not sound to you, the vast majority of the people in Israel in the last 100 years, they vehemently claim that it's completely possible to both pee and drink from the same and to the same well. It's just that, I mean, the actual way to do it was not yet, I mean, discovered because they didn't try enough. So they just need to try harder to discover how to do it, but I mean, but eventually it will be discovered, like the way. And that, I mean, and that we, the Kerubs, I mean, we don't tell them how to do it, even though for certain we do know, because I mean, we have so much information, but I mean, we are assholes. We are assholes, and like we are very bad people, and we kind of like, I mean, we deprive them of the information of like how can you safely and efficiently, I mean, both like pee into the well and then drink from the well. This is the consensus opinion in Israel for more than 100 years, and including today. This is the way it is. I mean, you know, this is, and most of what you see in this channel in the last couple of days is directly linked to this historical efforts by the Israelis to find the way that presumably is hidden from them by the evil aliens of how can they do it? Like, I mean, how can they pee like anybody, not just one person, that presumably like anybody, like anybody in Israel could, I mean, and will actually be encouraged to pee inside the well, but all of them will actually drink from it, and it will be great. So that's what's going on, and it's going on for more than 100 years. That, I mean, they did not give up. They still want to find a way, and they do everything they can to find how it's possible. And I mean, presumably the only way to actually find this way is to keep trying. Like, I mean, because what better way to discover like how it can be done if not just by doing it? I mean, you know, so, you know, every new generation of Israel, I mean, all of them pee into the well and drink from the well, and like, I mean, and they still did not find a way of how to do it safely. But I mean, maybe 100 years of trying is not enough. I mean, so I mean, they keep trying. I wish it was a sick joke, but it's not a joke. I mean, this is reality. I mean, this is reality, and it's not Israeli reality. It's reality of the planet Earth. Because all of you drink from the well, so all of you should know that in Israel it's customary that everybody pees into the well, and it was always like that. So yeah, I mean, in the breakfast that I've eaten this morning, I mean, while recording the video, I mean, just a couple of, like, maybe an hour ago, I've eaten chocolate. This was done in front of the camera, that was poisoned by the Israelis. And I've eaten like Tabasco that was poisoned with some other bacteria, I don't know what. And also the food that was received from Google 2 days ago or a day ago, I mean, the one that I've eaten was also poisoned by yet another bacteria. Because they really, I mean, want to find how can they pee into the well safely. What will I feel? I will suffer like all my life. I mean, but I mean, this is my life of suffering. What will you feel all over the world? So it should be said, all of you have some kind of, like, some amount of, maybe nanoscopic, but yes, still. I mean, the effect of the nanoscopic, of a small amount of neurons in the nanoscopic scale. First, I cannot tell you because I have, like, the only appliance that I have is the regular, you know, backlight microscope, like old-fashioned, which is fine. Like, I mean, I've had with all modesty tremendous discoveries, because the neurons, they can reach very large size. I mean, I was able to grow them. I mean, to make them big in several ways, and up to, I mean, almost like, I mean, in the non-microscopic scale. Like, I mean, they can almost like be, I mean, they identified like with the naked eye. I mean, we're very close to that point. That, I mean, using 64 magnification, which is, I mean, the minimal magnification that I can use, because I don't have all the lenses. If I had the other lenses, I could have had a smaller magnification, but I mean 64 is the minimum, and I mean you see ones that are so big that they don't even fit in like in the frame. So it means that I mean they are very close, like it's to be things you can see in the naked eye. Now probably I've never seen a portal in my life, but you know there are also portals to Venus, and probably there are also neurons, even though I cannot be so sure about it. I don't know, but I mean there is a good probability that it's so. And humans pass through it, so I mean, it should be like, I mean, at least I mean the size of. I have no idea what's the size. I mean, you know, I've watched the movie Stargate, but maybe it is. It's similar to reality, maybe not. I mean, it should be at least something that I mean a cat can crawl in through, because I mean otherwise how humans are passed through it. I have no idea what's the size of it. I mean, but more. So there is the question of how many people eat, but also there's the question of how efficient are the neurons, and this is dictated by the presence of the starships. And now we are in a very specific point in history, and I'm almost certain that never in the history of the Earth there were so many starships like now. Like it's a huge fleet. Again, one ship of the small class, because there is small class and big class. I mean, one small ship is enough to annihilate all the militaries of the world. First, I mean, while the captain is, I mean, you know, just discussing, you know, a dream that he had, like, I mean, over a morning coffee with a sleepy, you know, first lieutenant or whatever. I mean, it's so why so many arrived? I mean, I discussed it in other videos. I don't want to get into it. It's not even like a match. I mean, they can do whatever they want to you. But people all over the world are infected with whatever was inside this chocolate in Tabasco and in the Google donation, which was the vegetarian. Rice and steamed vegetable and rice with tomato sauce or whatever, something like that. Basic stuff. But this is nothing new to me. I mean, I've been infected with this stuff all my life, all the time. It was every time it's done, like, I mean, presumably because of other reason. Like, I mean, because people, think that I owe them so much because I've done so much wrong to them. You know, nobody speaks to me about my circumstances at all, and they take everything that they can from me. Everything, my daughters, my money. I don't have nothing. They took my daughters from me. They torture me without end, and still they think that for some kind of reason, I owe them so much, and I cannot repay, all the things that for some reason I owe them. So yeah, so C will probably return very soon. And yes, there is the question of, if people ate the body, how can they be resurrected? And this was a theological question that affected, real estate prices even until today, because of the notion that you want to be, one of the first, you want to be like a good place in one of the first batches of people that will be resurrected. Maybe they have to get hold of the resources of the earth, faster than others. I don't know. Just, the amount of olives, so expensive. So yes, we will give you this, this show is also on the menu. There is a resurrection show, and it's going to be very interesting. Yes, I wish all of what, or even just part of what I've said in this video was a joke, but everything is 100% literally true. Literally so. Literally so. It's just 1% true. And you need to accept to accept reality, and to understand that human beings are disgusting creatures, and it was difficult even for me to understand, to be in peace with that, because up in the age of 35, I was certain at the time Homo sapiens. I grew up and I lived like that, and it was very difficult for me to come to terms with the fact that no, they are not nice, and they are not they are not sensible or sensitive or sense whatever. They scum of the earth and disgusting creatures, and the universe is full of life, the galaxy is full of life. Life is a phenomenon that is much wider both like, I mean, in philosophical scale and also in, you know, the chemical properties, and I mean, almost everybody in Earth believe. And I mean, there are a tremendous amount of sentient creatures, and mostly they are superb to humans, I mean, tremendously. But not all of them. Yes, there are, you know, there is like there is a type of sentient creatures that sometimes even develop technological, I mean, industrial societies that are completely disgusting, and they always like to fight each other and eat each other, and their words mean nothing, and they are all disgusting. And yes, I mean, and you belong to this group, and these creatures, they never leave their own world, because the higher ups don't allow them to live, because if they do, I mean, they know exactly what's going to happen. Now, in the case of yes, it already happened, even without them like leaving the planet, because they have the gates. So yeah, I mean, that's where you belong. I mean, to the FT of sentient creatures. And you, I mean, this group, I mean, they don't want any connection with people, like members of the other group. I mean, it's a group. I mean, you don't like want like, you don't like, I mean, want as a friend of you someone that is, I mean, contained in this group, even and especially if you yourself you're part of that group. I assure you, it's not like, I mean, these are not the creatures that make friends or allies. I mean, certainly not with creatures disgusting as they are. This is life. This is, I mean, I wish it was a joke, but it wasn't. I'm glad I got out of the room, because I mean, maybe, I mean, I feel a little better. I mean, maybe it's something with the bacteria. Maybe I'll wait a while before I get back. I'm still under arrest. I mean, you know, what can you say? Endless arrest, endless trials for, nobody remembers even why. Nobody remembers even why. It's just, it's all violence. Everything is a joke. Democracy is a joke. The judicial system is a complete mockery. I miss my daughters. They deserve a father, and not like. Regarding what I've spoken about in the last video. Yes, I mean, realistically, I understood and I understand that there is a chance. I mean, I don't know how high is the chance, and in my day-to-day, I mean, it doesn't affect me in in practically, because I mean, when I, you know, raise my daughters, like, I joined custody. I've done everything. I mean, my home was their home. I mean, they lived there half the time since they remember themselves, and it was such a crime, like, against all of us, that, I mean, a year ago I was friends, and since then I haven't seen them at all. After they were, half of their time was spent with me. It's from like half the time with father to zero father at all. And I mean, yeah, in the background of all of this, I mean, there is the issue that does not, I mean, directly, I mean, affect this. But I mean, yes, I understand that there is a good chance that I mean, they don't have the same mother. They were born in a span of 11 months, which, I mean, it's not unheard of, you know, Irish twins. I mean, it's possible. I mean, like, it's not an evidence, but I mean, there are lots of things to be considered here. So, and it's, so, I mean, so why do I kind of, I mean, so put like, so you can say, so I mean, so the master mother, like, I mean, the oil mother is like is a complete witch and a criminal. I mean, so I mean, you put it in exclusion because you want, like, I mean, your children to have the mothers, but I mean, she doesn't really deserve it. You couldn't argue, but it's not like, it's more complicated than that. Because if she actually did it, it might, like, I mean, of course, all of this was done without my knowledge, and it's a huge crime. But I mean, I do understand that if I wanted more than one child, and I certainly wanted more than one. I definitely wanted more than two. I mean, I've certainly wanted more than one. I mean, I cannot imagine life without Hila, the younger one. I mean, but I do understand now. I mean, but during the time I knew nothing about my reality. All this journey, started during 2019. I mean, a year after we were finally the divorce was finalized, and I do know now that that the Israelis would have never allowed two babies without demanding to eat one of the two. And this is literal true, and it happened many times in the history of Israel. And you need to come to terms with this reality that they eat babies, and almost certainly they would have murdered Hila, the younger one, and eat her, unless she had the protection of not being a second child, but a first child enough of an Homo sapiens. So presumably it's illegal to eat her. Yes, I can have children both with Titans and Homo sapienses, and I'm neither. So, what do we make of it? That we need to escape this hell. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell, and we need to get out of this hell. All of us. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell. And very soon, all the world will be hell, because what I call the bicycle bacteria, which is similar to the train bacteria, which is known throughout several decades, but it's much more effective, tremendously more, and it's metallic, unlike the train bacteria. It's not carbon based, and it's a vehicle for the neos. Not in the way that they ride the bacteria. That in the way that the existence of this bacteria in the body, connects your consciousness with the other people that are infected with it. Which means that very soon all the humans in Earth will have shared consciousness, and maybe it's already the case to some extent, but it will happen very quickly. And this is not even related to anything that I actually did myself with all the paintings that you've seen, and the Caribbean room, and the sculptures, and the art performances that you've seen the last couple of days. They are actually not even related to it. It's related to the fact that I ate the stuff. This was always true, that just not so efficiently, because this was always true. It was always true that if you pee into the well and then you drink, or another person drinks, it drinks a little bit of your pee. This was always the case, and it's impossible. Again, the Israelis, they try so hard, to prove that it's actually possible that it will not be like that. But this is fact of life. It's always like that. The only thing that is now so different is the existence of a starship that tremendously amplify the bicycle mechanism. Tremendously amplify the mechanism. So if I now eat chocolate shachar that is infected with whatever, I don't know, HIV, I don't know what was in there. I just know that it was infected by divination. So it means that all the people that with neos in their body, which means 100% of humanity. And it should be said, if you missed that part, in the ancient past of humans, they had the robots were native to their bodies. That's why they fit you in a magical way. Think about it. You invade another planet, and you cannibalize the people, and in a magical way, the robots in their body, immediately know what to do in your body to increase your lifespan, and to give you all sorts of advantages, body modification, and better mood, and tremendous amount of, and this, even medicine that was designed for humans, by humans, by a very long process, that sometimes takes decades. And even such medicines, even if they are very popular, steroids or SSRIs that are extremely popular, and they were designed for so long and tested for so long. Even them, it takes. Sometimes it doesn't do good to everybody, and it takes a lot of time to just to it. So how is this miracle possible? So the answer is that they were native to humans as well. They just lost it because they ate meat, and also chicken, but also poultry, but mostly meat. And the Venusians did not eat meat, and I don't know why. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have it. I have never been in Venus. I don't know what kind of. It's more aquatic than Earth. Like it contains more water. I mean, but it's shallow water. It's not like a deep oceans, but it's made of a tremendous amount of water. So I mean, they obviously they eat fish. I don't even know if they have, maybe they don't. I mean, I do know. I do know that. I mean, I'm oversimplifying. Yeah. Yes, they are kind of a goats in Venus, and I do know that. And even I've discussed it, and even, but they don't eat us at all, and they don't. Like I have no clue regarding the reasoning. Like, I mean, what's going on? Like, maybe something, you know, religious, or maybe they don't like maybe they don't like the taste. I don't know. Maybe it's dangerous. Maybe they don't know how to do it. Maybe it's just safer and simpler to get the fish. I don't know. But I mean, the fact of what's, I mean, the Venusians, I mean, they don't eat meat, and also not poultry, and humans ate meat for a long time, and it just, I mean, and they just lost it after some time. This is hell. This is hell.